Hi there everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Prestige Liquids. My name is Andrew, and as always it is fantastic to have you here with me again on another whiskey review video. If you have not already done so, then please make sure that you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so that you can stay up to date with all future content, and you'll really be helping out my channel by doing so. So I would really appreciate the support. Now in today's video I'm going to be reviewing another Australian whiskey, and this comes from a classic Australian distillery, Starward. This is their latest release. This is the Starward Octave Barrels. So let's pour a little bit of this into the glass and I'll give you some information about this release. So, as I mentioned, this is the Starward Octave Barrels, the latest release from Starward, bottled at 48% ABV. The casks were filled in 2018 and bottled in 2021. This is matured in Shiraz casks, and these Shiraz casks come from a very prestigious and well-known Australian winery known as Yalumba. The particular cask that they've used for this is actually from one of, Yalumba's most, or a very highly awarded wine release from Yalumba as well, and that is the Yalumba Octave. It is called the Octavius by Yalumba. It's a 100-liter cask, and that's what they've used to age, let's say, this particular whiskey. Now, I believe earlier on in Starward's history, I think that they have also used previous Shiraz casks from Yalumba. So I guess if you're able to find earlier releases, you may be able to find other expressions that use other Yalumba casks. One other interesting fact that I would like to point out is that from the Yalumba winery itself, they are actually, I think, one of the only wineries within the Southern Hemisphere that actually has their own cooperage. So that is one really awesome thing. I mean, you're going to be creating and sourcing some exceptional quality casks right at your front door. So yeah, that's I think enough of that. It's starting to get really hot out here. I've got to keep my head behind the sun so I don't go getting all these sun flares and all that. Let's get on with the review and let's see how we go. So on the nose, it's so fruity. Okay, so Starward has a typical banana note to it. That note comes through in this, although it is not very prominent. It is a bit more of a subdued note. I've been able to get through quite a bit of this already, as you can see. I'm almost at about the halfway mark, I think, and I've only had this for, I think, just going on a week. That goes to show how much I've been enjoying this bottle at the moment. So yeah, typical Starward banana note. But as I mentioned in the live stream video that I did when when this bottle first arrived at the door, it is more of like a banana musk candy. So apples, pears. I'm picking up more berry notes as well. So think like raspberries, blueberries. It's also got those tart, acidic, tannic notes as well from the grape skins. We've got some planes flying over at the moment, so sorry about the noise. It's also quite sweet as well. It's got this nice, gentle sweetness that's coming through. So think nice, thick caramel, honey. It's got a bit of like a caramelized, like nut, like caramelized macadamia nut kind of note coming through. There's like a minty menthol note as well that I'm starting to get. Peaches. Think of like tinned peaches and apricots. just soaked in all that syrup that you get in the cans. The way this whiskey has been evolving so far has been absolutely beautiful. I mean, from the first pour, I was in love with it, and as I'm making my way through it, it's just exciting me even more. It really is an excellent high-end quality whiskey. I'd have to say that this is easily one of the best Starward whiskies that I've had so far. For a long time, that I guess that title belonged to the bourbon cask finish, but this has now taken over, and I have to say this is easily my favorite Starward that I've had. And those of you who have been following me for some time now, you would know that I have been able to try quite a lot, so I'll say quite a few Starward whiskies. I do have a playlist set up as well featuring all my other Starward reviews, so I'll link that down in the description down below. And that way when you're done with this, then you can go ahead and watch the other Starward reviews if you haven't already done so. Alright, let's move on to the palate and see what we get. So cheers. Fantastic fruity mouthfeel. Now, from a 48% ABV whiskey, you would normally start to expect a bit more of a thicker, more syrupy mouthfeel. This is still a little bit more on the thin and watery side, but it does not impact the flavor or the feel of the quality of the whiskey. Now, normally when I've had very, say, thin and watery whiskeys in the past, it is a major disappointment, and usually it leads to the experience of the whiskey as not being very enjoyable at all. But that is not the case with this. Yes, you do have a bit of a thin mouthfeel, but again, at the same time, you have these beautiful peppery, spicy notes that come through. So think black pepper, just tons and tons of black pepper mixed in with that spice, those spicy tannic notes that you would normally expect from a dry style Shiraz. The wood influence is incredible. The flavors are just mingling so well. The oak is soft and dry without being overly too intense. It's complementing the spirit without overpowering it, which makes me curious to be able to try what the actual Octavius wine tastes like. I would love to be able to see or be able to experience that balance between the fruit and the barrel, because the influence that the barrel of this is having on, say, the Starward spirit is just absolutely fantastic. Let's see. Alright, so again, that banana note is there. Same as what I mentioned on the nose, it's that musky candy note. When I did the live review, I had mentioned that this had kind of like a wet wood flavor. That note has now started to go away. I'm not really noticing that wet wood note anymore. In fact, it's probably changed to more of like a musty, like warehousey type of scent. Dry leather, tobacco. The berries, yeah, the berries are definitely still there. So I'm still getting a lot of like raspberry, and now a touch of strawberry. I'm still getting hints of those peach notes, caramel, honey, vanilla, clove, a touch of cinnamon as well. Those notes are we're getting a bit of a breeze at the moment, so it looks like my notes want to go flying. Let's just put them down there for now. Yeah, just the development of the flavor And the way it has evolved from the neck pour down to past the shoulder already is just absolutely incredible. This is definitely a whiskey that you just want to keep exploring and just diving into all the time. I have not tried this with water yet. To be honest, I have a feeling by adding water into it, you may lose a lot of the flavor. I think that 48% ABV, they've hit the nail on the head perfectly for this. And maybe adding a little bit of extra water may bring it down a little bit too much. But then, hey, you never know. I might be surprised. And it may totally enhance the flavor altogether. But that's something that I've got time to play around with. I still have quite a bit left. Now, the finish, again, very gentle, very elegant, very smooth and easygoing. It's everything that you want from a perfect sipping whiskey. This time you'll notice you'll have more of those, as I mentioned on the nose, getting all your like peach and apricot tinned fruits. It's got that syrupy, that sweet syrupy flavor coming to it. Lots of vanilla, caramel. I'm also getting like hints of milk chocolate coming through as well. A little bit of tobacco and leather. All in all, I mean, every stage of this whiskey has just something exceptional to offer. And I know I keep saying this, but when it comes to the Starward releases, it's just like things just keep getting better and better. I mean, yes, there have been some releases that have been a bit like on the meh side, but again, they're still enjoyable. This is not a meh whiskey. This is a this is a freaking amazing whiskey, and I think worth every cent that you pay for it. I think excellent price point. 700ml bottle as well for people who care about that kind of thing. Yeah, it's sensational. It really is. I don't. Besides the thin mouthfeel, I don't really think that there is like any negative or any form of like constructive criticism that I can give about this, because the overall flavor and the experience itself is yeah, let's say it's just beautiful. And look, and I'm not just saying that as well just to kind of kiss the asses of Starward. I mean, that's freaking ants. Bloody hell, about 2 weeks ago it was a bee, now it's ants. Yeah, no, say this is in no way trying to suck up to Starward at all. In general, I am a fan of Starward. I have been from, I guess, the very start of my whiskey journey, and just being able to try all these like weird and wacky releases that they come out with every year has just been a fantastic and valuable experience. Starward for me is one of those ones that's taught me a lot about being able to develop my own palate and tasting notes and things like that. It feels to me like a brand that I've had with me across my whole journey, and it's like my best friend that's always there for you, you know. I think that's, I guess, getting a little bit too mushy now. I think it's time to put this review to rest. Yeah, again, as I mentioned at the start of the video, if you have not done so already, please make sure you hit that the subscription button if you've been enjoying this content. I have many more reviews to come into the future, and especially especially if Starward keep putting out things like this, I'm going to keep trying them. And yeah, I can't wait to try more. So, wow, police sirens, helicopters, time to go inside. Alright, that's it. My name is Andrew, and I'll see you all again on the next video. KIPPIS.